I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes, so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sports newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Friday, April 5th, 2019.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Our top story comes from the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, became the first player in 10,745 days. For those who don't want to do the math, that is November 3rd, 1989. The last millennium, man. Michael Jordan was the last player to do this feat versus the Cavaliers. That's right, Giannis and Michael have one thing in common tonight. 45 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists with 0 turnovers in a single game. Pretty incredible, huh? Now for the other 3 games in the NBA.
Bird takes the shot. It's gone! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it! Jordan with 2 seconds to go puts it up and scores at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago!
Around the NBA.
As we said in the opening, Giannis Antetokounmpo had 45 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists in the game as the Bucks won 128-122 over the Philadelphia 76ers. It's the Milwaukee Bucks' first Eastern Conference regular season title since 1974. Pretty incredible. Now, the Sacramento Kings, 117-104 winners against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Zizic had 14 points and 10 rebounds for the Cavs, and for Sacramento, it was Buddy Hield who had 23 points for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox also had a double-double for Sacramento, 16 points and 10 assists. Lastly, the Golden State Warriors defeated the LA Lakers 108-90 last night. DeMarcus Cousins had 21 points and 10 rebounds for the Warriors as they prepare for the playoffs. Chances are they're going to be the number 1 seed. For the Lakers, it was Jonathan Williams who had 17 points and 13 rebounds for them in 27 minutes on the court. The standings haven't really changed. It's the Bucks in first. They've clinched the 1 seed. Raptors in second, Sixers in third, Boston and Indiana in fourth and fifth. Detroit, Brooklyn, Orlando battling for 6, 7, 8 with Miami half a game out of the 8 spot. Tomorrow is a lot of games in the NBA. Well, if you count a lot as 13 games, then yes, it's definitely a lot. Now moving over to the ice.
Back in front door, shot scores! Bobby O from Sanderson! Metto! Rebound chance in front. Kagan is there, puck up free, score! 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable!
Around the NHL.
The NHL had 12 games on its slate last night. The Boston Bruins won 3-0 over the Minnesota Wild. A lot of these teams are just getting playoff positioning. After tonight, 15 out of 16 teams will have clinched playoff positions. Really, you say? Who clinched? Find out. Let's get back to the game. Bruins 3-0 winners over the Wild. Nordstrom had a goal, his 7th of the season for the Bruins, and Pasternak had his 38th of the season. Yaroslav Halak had 26 saves in the shutout win. Buffalo Sabres defeated the Ottawa Senators 5-2 last night. Duclair had his 19th goal of the season for Ottawa, but after that, it was all Buffalo. Eichel and Pominville scored in the third to make sure that Ottawa was out of reach. Tampa Bay Lightning defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-1, securing Boston home ice in the first round against Toronto. Stamkos had his 44th and Kucherov had his 40th for Tampa, making the Tampa Bay Lightning the first team since 1995-1996 Pittsburgh Penguins to have 3 40-goal scorers in a single season. Stamkos, Kucherov, and Brennan Point have had 40 goals this season. When the Penguins did it, it was Nedved, Mario Lemieux, and Jaromir Jagr. The New York Islanders 2-1 winners in a shootout over the Florida Panthers. It was Brock Nelson who scored the winner in the shootout for the Islanders. He also scored his 25th goal this season for the Islanders to open the scoring in the second period. Pittsburgh Penguins 4, Detroit Red Wings 1. Jake Jake Gunsel had his 39th goal of the season, Kessel his 27th, and Sid the Kid Crosby added his 34th of the season. Pittsburgh is preparing for the playoffs. Montreal Canadiens 1, Washington Capitals 2. Man, the Canadiens took a hit tonight in their hunt for the wild card. We'll get to that in the standings. Capitals scored 2, as we said. Lars Eller had his 13th goal of the season. Carolina Hurricanes defeated the New Jersey Devils 3-1 last night. Well, there wasn't really much. Niederreiter had his 23rd goal for Carolina, and they clinched a playoff spot. Yes, the Carolina Hurricanes are in the playoffs. The St. Louis Blues took out the Philadelphia Flyers 7-3 last night. There were a lot of goal scorers for St. Louis, let's be honest here. But Claude Giroux had his 22nd goal of the season for the Flyers. Steen had his 9th and 10th goals of the season for St. Louis. Nashville Predators 3, Vancouver Canucks 2. The Preds are preparing for the playoffs, as are most of these teams. Ryan Johansson had his 14th goal of the season to break the deadlock in the third period. Nashville wins 3-2 due to Johansson's goal. Colorado Avalanche won 3-2 over the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets led 2-0 after the first period, and if Colorado were going to clinch a playoff spot last night, they would need to go to overtime, as Arizona did their job in Vegas. 3-2 in overtime. Carl Soderberg scored at 10:35 into the third period. His 23rd goal of the season. Eric Johnson had his 7th goal of the season to win the game in overtime. San Jose 3, Edmonton 2. Brent Burns had his 15th goal of the season for the victorious Sharks. Leon Draisaitl had the only 2 goals for Edmonton, his 48th and 49th goals of the season. Hopefully he'll hit 50 in Edmonton's final game of the season on Saturday. Lastly, as we kind of spoiled it, Arizona won 4-1 against the Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas's Twitter was not that thrilled. Mark Stone had his 33rd goal of the year. It was the only goal for Vegas on the night. Panik had his 14th, Stepan his 14th and 15th of the season for Arizona. They may have won, but because Colorado went to overtime and ended up winning in overtime, the Avalanche are in, the Coyotes are out, and all 8 spots in the Western Conference are decided. Speaking of the standings, let's get to those. Like we said, 15 out of the 16 playoff positions have been decided. In the Atlantic, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning, who will probably be playing the Columbus Blue Jackets, but Montreal has an outside chance. Boston and Toronto will play each other from the Atlantic Division. In the Metropolitan Division, the Washington Capitals have clinched the number 1 seed in the Metro. They will play the Carolina Hurricanes. The New York Islanders will play the Pittsburgh Penguins. In the wild card, as we said, Carolina has the number 1 wild card. They'll play Washington. Columbus has 94 points, level with Montreal. They have a game in hand on the Canadiens, though. They play tomorrow night. In the Western Conference, it's the Nashville Predators with 98 points, Winnipeg with 97, and St. Louis with 97. That's going to be a wonderful end of the season to see who has to play each other and who will play the Dallas Stars in the wild card. Or will they play Colorado? That's also to be determined. In the Pacific Division, the Calgary Flames have 107 points. They'll play the second wild card team to be determined, either Dallas or Colorado. The San Jose Sharks will play the Vegas Golden Knights in the playoffs. Tomorrow, the NHL has 3 games on its slate. The Columbus Blue Jackets are at the Madison Square Garden for the New York Rangers. Dallas Stars are at the Chicago Blackhawks, and the LA Kings are at the Anaheim Ducks, who will be the first NHL team of the season to finish all 82 regular season games. Now to the Diamond.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone! And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Touch 'em all, Joe. Home run! Mike Piazza!
Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it! Man, what a play!
Now from Major League Baseball.
The MLB started with 10 games on its slate, but by the end of the day, there were only 8. Why, you ask? Well, Mariners at the White Sox was postponed, and so was Padres at the Cardinals, but there were still 8 good games on the calendar. The Detroit Tigers defeated the Kansas City Royals 5-4, Washington Nationals 4-0 winners against the Mets, Yankees 8-4 winners against the Orioles, Cleveland Indians had a no-hitter through 8 innings, but it was broken up in the 9th inning. 4-1, the Indians would beat the Blue Jays. Pirates 2-0 against the Reds. Athletics defeated the Boston Red Sox 7-3. Boston is on an 11-game road trip to begin the season, most of it on the West Coast. Atlanta Braves 9-4 winners against the Cubs. Yu Darvish disappoints once again. Rangers win 11-4. Tomorrow there will be 12 games on the MLB slate. The Final Four is upcoming on Saturday.
They won it! I'm the dunk! It's showtime! It's party time!
Send it in, Jerome! There's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes!
Gonzaga! The slipper still fits! Valpo has won the game! A miracle!
No good! By George, the dream is alive!
It is time for
NCAA men's basketball.
Like we said, the Final Four is on Saturday at 6:09 Eastern, 3:09 Pacific. The Virginia Cavaliers will take on the Auburn Tigers, and 30 minutes or so after the conclusion of that game, the Texas Tech Red Raiders will take on Tom Izzo's Michigan State Spartans. We'll have a full report on those two games on Sunday's episode. We'll have a preview of those two games on tomorrow's episode. That's the Sport Report for April 5th, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com. This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.